You were in that press conference, Ollie. Was that said in a consciously mischievous way, or is he just saying what we all kind of think a little bit?
You know what, it's been interpreted since as consciously mischievous, and then maybe I missed something, and I understand why it's been interpreted as mischievous. But at the time, Guardiola was pretty euphoric about the way City had played, and I think, going back to something Ryan said, I think he really felt this is his team now. And so he was basically looking forward to the battle ahead. And I felt, you know, he was even bigging up Mourinho a little bit there, saying this is a Mourinho team now, and I felt that he was being kind of generous to Harry Kane rather than mischievous to Tottenham. But, you know, I can see how it came across. Obviously, it's been interpreted into saying that Tottenham are a one-man team, but they're not a one-man team. No. You know, I mean, if you devote...
It's a quick opinion piece on them, isn't it? Yeah. Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Kane.
Yeah,
from A to B.
And look, I mean, it's a massive compliment to Harry Kane, and so it should be. I mean, he's been unbelievable in September, and
he's not August yet, has he?
And he's a fantastic player. But if you devote all your time to trying to stop Harry Kane, then Dele Alli's going to hurt you, or Christian Eriksen's going to hurt you. So, you know, it's very simplistic to say that Tottenham are a one-man team.
And for you, Ryan, knowing the Tottenham squad as you do and the likes of Harry Kane, are you surprised at how it's developed? Not that it was written in the stars, but what we hear about Harry Kane is his approach, the way he respects the profession, his fellow professionals, what he does around the game and inside the game, the way he leads that team. Is his development as straightforward as possibly you could have thought it would be?
I don't think people realise how hard he does work. I mean, you can see he's a phenomenal finisher. That some of it is natural to a certain extent, but a lot of his finishes come from hours and hours of working on the training pitch.
Not just the technique, but being logistically in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely everything. And he's got a good coaching team with him as well, who do set up things that are realistic to the game on the weekend. And Harry's just obsessed. You know, I think for the last couple of years, after his first breakthrough year at Spurs, when he got 30-odd goals, I think his mindset completely changed. I think now he's set his sights on being the best striker in the world, and I couldn't really think of many better than him at the moment. I think the work he's put in, the dedication, the hours are starting to pay off now, and I think people are really starting to see what sort of player he has become. And I think the manager at Spurs and everyone there, the players have all contributed to that.
You know when you say how hard he works, and you quite often hear players saying that about other players, that they... Does everybody not work that hard? I mean, does he work hard? When you saw him, did he work harder than other players?
Yeah, well, I mean, Harry, I think if you see Harry when he was 19, 20, you would have looked at him and gone, he's a bit heavy, he's not really got that turn of pace over 5 yards, and Harry realised that. So for years he's been working on his body, and I look at him now and he gets away from defenders, and he's an animal. I think he's an absolute beast up the top, the way he leads the line on his own.
Because you can work on that explosive power, can't you? That gets you, not necessarily make you quicker over 100 metres, but for that first couple of yards, then suddenly he's got more space than he had before, hasn't he?
He's studied his game, and I look at him now and physically, from a physical point of view, I don't really think there's a weakness there, and that is off the back of him putting in the hours in the gym, out on the training pitch, eating the right foods, not drinking alcohol, and just being obsessed with making himself the best possible version of
himself. Absolutely. Yeah. Does that filter down from someone like Mauricio Pochettino in charge? I mean, he's a lovely fella, isn't he? He's very genial, a very charming fella, but he obviously demands the most out of those players, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think if you look at what he's done with the whole Tottenham squad, the amount of players that he's brought through the system, he's obviously helped me to come through and play in the Premier League, and the way he gives trust in his players and the freedom to go out there and express yourself, really.
What's it like on a one-to-one? I'm intrigued as a manager to play.
Well, I can't speak highly enough of him. There was a point in my second season when he come and he invited me round for dinner with my fiancée and his wife, and I went round to his house and we had dinner. His two sons were there, and we were just speaking as friends, really. And it's that friendship and the connection he builds up away from football, I think, is the biggest compliment to him. Obviously, he works hard on the football pitch. He's tactically, he knows what he wants from his team. He demands absolutely everything from every session. But away from that, you can really connect to him as a person and as a human being. And I think that's why they've had so much success recently, and hopefully it will continue.
What stands out there, Ollie, for me, and reading someone like Alex Ferguson's books and hearing how his players reacted to him, and I'm sure you'd have come across him many times, it seems the same similar kind of core values, making players feel wanted, working with them, giving them the trust. And Mauricio Pochettino said it about Harry Kane, that he loved him, and that there is that interaction between manager and player, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think sometimes as journalists and as pundits or whatever, we can get carried away with, obsessed with tactics and everything. But I mean, I've spoken to a lot of, and I'm doing a book at the moment with Kieran Down. We're talking about Sir Bobby Robson.
He must have been tremendous with
him. Sir Bobby Robson, and just the genius of his man management, and not great tactically, not brilliant sessions according to Kieran, but an absolute genius. Absolute genius as a man manager, and I think Sir Alex Ferguson obviously had that, and I think Guardiola seems to have that. And actually, that going back to that point we were making about Mourinho, I thought that used to be Mourinho's sort of unique selling point, that he could get more out of players, and I think that slipped a little bit. I don't know whether it was Real Madrid that kind of disillusioned him a bit, and then.
Would that have been to do with the size of the relative size of the egos at a place like?
Yeah, possibly. But it seemed to happen at Chelsea as well, didn't it? When the players seemed to stop playing for him, and he seems to have got that back now at United. But I think, I don't know if you back this up, but man management is a huge thing in a manager. It seems to me.
It is, and as I said, with someone like Mauricio Pochettino, the standards that he set first and foremost at Southampton, then moving on to Spurs, seem to have dragged a team of talented individuals higher possibly than they could have imagined. And Harry Kane seems to be just the absolute perfect exponent of that.
Yeah, I think so. I think from the management point of view and the whole staff, it was a project. It wasn't something that they were going to come in and change overnight. I think you look at the Tottenham team now, and it's a strong team. It's a really strong team, and I think the criticism over the last 15, 20 years of the Tottenham team is that they are a bit tippy-tappy, they like to play nice football and won't fight and get results away from home all the time. And I look at that Tottenham team now, and I just think they're a team of athletes, and they're strong, and obviously they've got a philosophy where if a player's missing or the gaffer tries to bring someone else in, everyone knows what they're doing. It's a collective unit, and obviously Harry's getting all the plaudits and attention at the moment, but that's a team effort, that's a squad effort. It's not just the players, it's the management, it's absolutely everyone at the club. There's a whole philosophy now, and there's a really good feeling around the club. And
he quite obviously shoulders the burden at Spurs, doesn't he? England captain, is he the right man?
I mean, I hesitate to say this, but I kind of am a bit bored with that England. I'm not going to say I don't.
Bored with the captaincy, or
I'm bored with the captaincy debate, because I'm more worried.
Is it relevant in modern day football?
Well, I'm not sure if I think it is relevant, but I'm not sure. I'm more sort of worried about our lack of strength in centre midfield than I'm about who's captain. I mean, look, personally, and I love Harry Kane. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. Personally, I think have Gary Cahill, just because I wouldn't want to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think Harry Kane couldn't be playing any better than he is. Who know? I don't know how he'd react to being captain. Maybe it'd make him even better, but he's playing pretty good at the moment. I think I'd possibly go with Cahill. I think Cahill seems to relish responsibility. He's a pretty safe pick, as is Harry Kane. Obviously, I think I'd stick with Cahill.
For you?
I disagree. I think Harry wants it. He's approaching that. Well, he's a world-class striker, and he is in that top, at the moment, the top 5 players in the world. And you look at Messi, you look at Ronaldo. They captain their country, and Harry wants it. He wants that responsibility. You know,
he embraces that burden.
He wants it.
The
responsibility. No, it is a big responsibility, and it's the biggest honour to captain your country. And Harry will want that. I know Harry will want that. That's the kind of person he is, and he'll want it for the next 10 years. He'll want to break Rooney's goal-scoring record. That is Harry, and I don't see why we would put someone else as the skipper and have them for a couple of years when Harry could be the captain and lead the country for the next 3 or 4 tournaments. And I know that's what he wants, and hopefully he does get it, because I do think he deserves it.